Ayo, freedom calling, pick it up. Why you stalling? Pick it up. Is that your purpose? Pick it up. Hurry up, it's urgent. Pick it up.
Welcome to the Time is Ripe podcast. Time is Ripe is a digital journal podcast of Ripe Creatives. Ripe Creatives is a ministry that leverages the arts for the purpose of missions in Philadelphia and the surrounding region. Time is Ripe is hosted by Ripe Creatives founder, Scott Smith. The podcast features various guests from within the Ripe community or our extended family. Each episode focuses on a specific experience that our team hosted here in the city or an outside event where someone from our team was booked to perform. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
Sleeping, you probably in a coma. Try to make a hit, I made a homer. Christ gave blood, he a donor. Remove the weight from the shoulders. Hold up. Ayo, freedom.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to the Time is Ripe podcast. It is season 5. Yeah, that was definitely some fireworks right there.
Yeah, we had a lot of fireworks, so I thought it was thematic.
Hey, there you go. Listen, we're going to get into that. Season 5 is here. It is Setting the Stage Part 5. So One of the ways we kick off every season is with an episode with just me and Jarrett, the co-host, the producer, the recorder, the editor of this podcast. Him and I are on most of the episodes together. There's sometimes he takes a back seat just to play with some buttons on the computer. But Jarrett and I are back again for the 5th time. Yeah. Just us, no guests, no conversations about a thing that's in the past, except for the podcast season itself.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Jarrett?
It was every season seems to have like different feels and different vibes. I think this season I probably was in the least amount of episodes. I think.
Really?
Maybe it felt like I wasn't in as many because there were a lot of dates of people traveling and being out and about where it wasn't just like home team running everything. So it was nice getting to hear about events that we've now reached out to, that we've expanded to, that aren't just solely within our ecosystem. Like we're just showing that we've reached more people.
I assumed you were on most of them this year whenever I was looking at the list, which we'll get into in a second.
Or at least it was episodes that I wasn't at. There was a couple that I sat in on because it just had no one else, so I just sat in on it, and I was just like, that's cool, guys, and that's it.
There's definitely been a few episodes where Jarrett is on the intro. He says like 2 things near the first third. He says something in the second third, and then you don't hear from him again until it's sign-off time. It's just like, is that guy even on this podcast? I mean, he's just serving a purpose, you know? But I appreciate it. No, it was definitely an interesting season. The breakdown is a little bit different from season 4 versus 3, 2, and 1. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're right. Maybe you were on a lot less episodes. It didn't feel like you were because we ended the season with a lot that you were on.
True.
So I guess that's where like I'm kind of thrown off there. But I guess at the beginning of the season, there was quite a few that you weren't on. We run seasons from January to December in terms of events. Yeah,
the release isn't necessarily January to December because I think we just finished up in January. Was the last one in January or February? I think it came out January this year.
I think it came out in January maybe, or it might have came out in February.
Yeah, we're usually wrapping up January, February time.
Yeah, but the last event that we talked about was in season 4. It was 2 lines. The December show with Jake Doggett. But yeah, one of the things we do here on Setting the Stage, we're going to talk about what's ahead and what we're excited about or what we're changing or all that kind of stuff in a minute. But let's focus on the recap because we do this every season. This whole podcast is about debriefing, right? And like having conversations about events and what was the impact of it. So in the same way, we like to debrief the season itself too. From your and my perspective, what were some of the episodes that stood out to you? I'll do the overview and then we can talk about favorites, argue about that, all that good stuff. I don't really know if I have any favorites this time because
there were a lot of really good ones.
There were a lot of good ones, but I'll give you the overview first.
Right.
18 total episodes.
Crazy.
Setting the stage, so really 17 event-related episodes, which is basically one every, 1.5 per month on average, right? So to give you kind of a rhythm there. We did 4 Creatives Philly events, in terms of episodes. We did 2 Lines episodes. We did the 2 Oracles episodes. So that's 8 episodes that focus specifically on our own events.
Yeah.
Right? Kingdom Philly with Will Toms, Keith Reed, and Doc.
Which is, in a way, kind of our own event just because of the collaboration effort. Yeah.
We don't know what's happening with Kingdom Philly. It might be RIP, but we love that episode. Will Toms, Keith Reed are amazing people. Doc is obviously amazing. We're going to talk about him more, I'm sure. We also had the Open Heart Poetry episode with Poetic Will, coming all the way in from Jersey. We did the Encounter Volume 3. We did not have Jay Avery on from North Jersey, but we talked about his show where some of our artists went to perform. Good Stuff Festival.
Yeah.
Not our festival, but in a lot of ways, we did a lot of the heavy lifting for us. You could kind of throw that into our event category if you wanted to.
Yeah.
We did a Lamb Jam with Adam Sr. We actually did a couple of them, but we only did 1 episode about it.
Right. Yeah, they did 2 last year, I think.
I think 2, yeah. 2 to get kicked off. DTL, Dare to Listen with Trish, about whenever I got to perform with Brandon and Red Lion.
Also featuring Red Lion on the episode, right?
He wasn't on that episode. He was on the Houston episode the year before.
There was someone else with you when she for
Trish. AVG.
AVG
was on. Yeah, he came to the show. But yeah, Red Lion was back in Texas at that point. We also did Changemakers with Peace Ike. Shout out to Peace Ike. Changemakers is great. It's a conference in Philly. We kind of just use that as an excuse to get Peace Ike on our podcast because we think Peace Ike is great. We also did the Breakaway Retreat with Meg DeHaven and Tucker Rodkey. That was the first time having Tucker on the podcast. He was kind of salty about that, but he did a great job. And then we did the Messiah University poetry event where the right poets went to Messiah. And yeah, that's all the episodes. There was a lot of creatives, a lot of 2 Lines, Oracles, and then all those other ones. So like half, a little more than half, I don't know. It depends on how you describe Good Stuff Festival, but 9 out of 18 were events that we had a heavy hand in producing. I guess if you had Kingdom, 10 out of 18. But then quite a few that we didn't, where you were talking about like gigs where people went and performed, and then we came back here and talked about it.
Yeah. There was a good amount in and out of the city, which I think was, again, every season we talk about it, but it's just showing more and more growth of the community and reaching people, reaching other artists and creatives in and around Philly. And you just see the influence we have, the fact that other people who are good at what they do want us to come alongside them.
Yeah. God is very good. I mean, I hope that we are continuing to grow, not just like a name to grow a name, but growing our name and brand and recognition so that more doors open.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think any of the growth points Ripe has hit were because of strictly artistry and ability. I think a lot of them were because, yes, the artistry and ability is good, but because they're good, people were willing to listen and heard the message that was in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, I think that certainly that's what keeps you in the door.
Yeah.
I think we talk about that a lot on this podcast. Like, you know, your talent, your branding, your marketing, your social media page, whatever can get you in to the door, right? Your Spotify monthly listeners, people look at that and they're like, oh, wow, this guy's a big deal. Let's get him. What's going to keep you there is how you handle the opportunity when you're there.
Yeah.
And not just how well you do on stage, but who you are off the stage, who you are, not just in the green room either, but like with people out in the lobby, connecting with folks, honoring the guys who are like serving behind the scenes and gals who are serving behind the scenes. Doing that stuff really well just makes a big difference. And I kind of always said, like, I get why some of the bigger artists that gig 100 times a year don't have the bandwidth and capacity to do that on every event because it would just burn them out.
Right.
But if we're doing, you know, an artist does 30 gigs a year in our community, yeah, let's make sure all 30 of these, like, you're handling these things well. Because that's really going to be the difference maker for whether you make it as an artist or not. You know, there's plenty of artists that have amazing catalogs and don't have the best reputation for whenever they get to events.
Yeah.
And so they don't get called back to do those events ever again because they had a bad experience with those people. So far be it from us for that to be us.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jarrett, enough of me just talking about random things on this podcast. What else is new?
I mean, that's the point of a podcast.
It's just me rambling, giving you guys.
Listen, we got to hit the 60-minute minimum.
No, we do not. We're not on this episode. We don't. But Jarrett, what were your favorite episodes from season 4?
With season 4, I mean, I say it every time. I always love the creatives episodes, but I do think the John Bolds episode for creatives over the summer for one of the peers was a big highlight for me, just because of not even because of like content or entertainment value, just because of the conversation I got to have with John, you got to have with John, like as a collective, the three of us had both in that episode, but around that time, because we were here talking for a while, even after we turned off the mics, and just the memory connected with that. I love it.
Yeah, that was a great episode. Yeah. Shout out to John Bolds. Knowing him since he was like a child creates a level of intimacy and conversation that's pretty rare. But also, John is just really vulnerable. Like, he's very honest and, yeah, just like open anytime he's in a conversation. Like, he very much contends for that. Yeah. So there was like nothing guarded. There was nothing polished about our conversation. It was like, real. This is how I felt. This is what you guys made me feel whenever you did this for me. And it was like it was kind of emotional, like in a good way.
Yeah, definitely in a good way. It was a very good time. I know there's more favorites. I mean, Two Lines episodes were a lot of fun this season as well, because I've gotten to build more into relationship and being a part of it since they're doing it in the space that I run. Like, it's fun being more alongside them than usual.
Yeah, you venue owner. Go ahead, Top Mop Savage Studios.
Top Mop Savage Studios.
Yes, sir. No, that's exciting. Yeah, Two Lines is popping. And I think being in one location, which we're hoping to see the same thing for creatives too. Yeah. Which we'll be talking about this season, in season 5. But, building from one location consistently allows you to kind of get that recurring. People know where it is. People know what they can count on. People know, that third Friday or whatever, I'm going to be at Two Lines. They set their calendar by it. So Two Lines has been doing really well. Yeah. And I think they've loved being in your space, which they've talked about on the episodes.
Yeah. I think, like you said, the recurring value of it, they have their own flow down. They know what they need to get done. It's really easy for them to walk in, bing, bang, boom, done, set, ready to go, let's roll. Like, they have their system down instead of having to try and make it up every time that they walk into a new space, or they're alternating and trying to remember what they did 2 months ago that worked so well.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't have to deal with the noise at the bar at peaks, which helps.
I wasn't going to take any shots, but
I mean, it's nothing again. It's a restaurant. People are there to eat food and hang out and watch football on Thursday night, and you guys are trying to have a poetry event in the same room. It's not going to work very well.
There are words being spoken.
Plenty of spoken words in this room right now while the poet is performing. But yeah, I think that's been a real blessing. We probably could have done a lot more episodes of Two Lines, but it's just hard to get people into the room, to record an episode. Like, everybody's calendar schedules are busy, so we only did a couple of them.
It also turns into like when every Two Lines is special, or any of them special, because like every one of them has so many good moments that you could share about. And at what point it's like, wait, did we already talk about a moment like that already happened, kind of thing at Two Lines?
That's true. But we do that with creatives though. We do episodes. About
we do that. We do that with creatives. But I think a lot of the episodes have their own unique feels, because we did 4 creatives episodes this year.
Yeah, we didn't do either of the spring shows. We didn't do Abel's or Graham's.
But in doing 4 episodes, they were at 3 different venues. One almost ended creatives. I think that's enough difference among those 4.
Yeah. The episode that this man is speaking of is the one with Doc Hero and Sean Perez, the June Creatives Peer episode.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the best episode of the season. It was definitely the most iconic, though.
It was something.
I don't know if it was the best, but it's definitely the most memorable episode. Like we'll be able to set our clocks by. Oh yeah, that had to be season 4 because that was in 2025 when you guys had the fireworks show. Amazing, hysterical episode, especially like the behind the scenes of it.
Yeah, hearing it was like one of those TV episodes or movies where you see an overarching view of the story with like people doing things in and out of the camera, but then you go back and you rewatch the story from everyone's perspective and you see all the roads crossing. That's what that episode felt like.
Yes, it definitely was a little crazy in that regard. From Doc's perspective, Sean's perspective, my perspective, Jarrett's perspective, Legend's perspective, Venice's perspective.
There were a lot of perspectives in that room, and none of them sounded the same.
It was fun, very, very funny. So
Now
that was
it's
a really
funny.
good episode.
Yeah,
I love the Maya episode in December too.
that was a good one.
Very
Yeah.
similar to the John Bolds one. I just felt like, oh man, it's so fun to hear an artist that's not inside of Ripe, or at least not yet. We'll see what happens. But talk about our community, Ripe Creatives as a ministry overall, Creatives Philly as a platform. To hear an artist being like, this is unbelievable. I gig out all the time. I've done 100 other shows. I love what I'm doing with you guys. And I think Maya even talked about like kind of hitting this stride of like, I want to be really thoughtful and selective about where I perform these days anyway.
Yeah.
Like I don't just want to be a hamster on a wheel running around doing anything, whatever people call me for. Like, let me be strategic.
Yeah.
And she felt like, man, part of my coming back party, I want it to be with you guys. I think that was really, really special to hear that.
It was. It was a nice episode to hear her talking about it, and it, especially when it's an artist that's not in our community that we're interacting with a lot, we get to hear the fresh perspective, and it's very encouraging because not that any artist in Ripe takes anything for granted when it comes to events, but sometimes it's refreshing to hear from other people that this is working, this is helpful, this is something that helps an artist.
Yeah. I think that things can become normal when they're redundant. Like whenever it's just like, oh yeah, duh, I get 20 gigs a year through Ripe. Like it's like, but the people who haven't ever been a part of Ripe are like, what? Yeah. I would love that. You know, thank you for the one that you got me last year.
Yeah.
Because nobody from your crew could come. Like even her talking about the Maya was talking about the chapel.
Oh, at
the Christian Academy.
Yeah.
And then also Carson Simpson.
Yeah.
How much those two very like random things that we did last year mattered to her. We didn't even do episodes about either of those, right? But they're one of the stories that we did. Like we do somewhere around 150 to 180 dates a year. And so we're obviously not doing that many episodes, right? We'd have to do an episode every other day.
Oof.
So we're not talking about everything that happens, but with her it was like, oh yeah, I did this. Oh yeah, I did this with you guys, even while not being a Ripe artist because we needed somebody last minute. And she like those things matter to her. Like she said, like, I don't want to be dramatic, but like the change the trajectory because of, you know, things that she was learning or things that she was struggling with or the day she was having stepping into that gig and then what God did through the gig.
Yeah, the interaction she had. Like this story she told about the interaction with the little girl in the crowd.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, he does. It's beautiful. So that was a really great episode.
Yeah.
I mean, having all the new people on, Will Toms, Keith Reed, Poetic Will, Adam Sr., Trish, P-Psych, Tucker Rodkey, like that's a lot of new voices for the first time.
I mean, it was a lot of new faces from outside the community, but we got a lot of returners that just hadn't been on in a while. And even some people that this is their first time being on since really joining and becoming a part of Ripe. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of like maybe returner because they were on one episode 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Like not the consistent voices. Like you're going to have the AVGs.
You have AVG,
the
Greg, Snow,
yeah.
Abel. Like you're going to have people who are on at least 1 or 2 episodes a year, if not more.
Yep.
Especially in AVG's case. But people like Devin came on an episode this season. She hasn't been on in 3 years almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember what season her gallery was, to be honest, but it had to be at least 2 seasons, at least probably season 2. But yeah, Devin Day's amazing human. She was on with Jake for the December 2 Lines episode, and a huge part of Ripe. Like, she started out as an artist getting a gallery being showcased by Emily Phillips. Shout out to Emily, putting together the Creatives Galleries back in the day. And at that event, Devin gets to show her work. She gets to sell her work. She's blessed by that. She raises a bunch of money for her career. Then she joins 2 Lines. The 2 Lines Philly team, starts painting for them. Then she's painting for Creative sometimes because we had other people that did that but that couldn't make it. Yeah. So we have Devin kind of fill gap there. Then she's like, hey, I love being a part of the events teams. Like, if Creatives needs help, like, I'm down. And I was like, well, you're already part of 2 Lines. She's like, yeah, I can do both. She joins Creatives Philly team. So she's like all the way up in Ripe, fully serving in these multiple capacities. And then she becomes a official Ripe artist since the episode even dropped. But yeah, like Devin's a big part of our community, and we haven't had her voice on this podcast in like 2.5 years. Yeah. You know, so that's the one thing that's like, we want to give as much of a clear, honest picture of Ripe Creatives as we can, but the schedule stuff is so hard to get people on episodes to actually hear their voice.
I mean, there's people like Olivia Weatherby who has not been on many times at all in the entirety of the podcast.
Her show,
but she
her
is
concert, right?
Yeah, but she's been at so many events. She's involved with Creative. She's involved with Ripe Worship. She could be on 4 of these dates, I think, at least on this list that we did episodes of.
Yep, 5, because Breakaway too.
Yeah.
You know, so, and she was at Oracles too. She was on the worship team for Oracles. Yeah. So that's 7.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she could hit so many of these.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Liv. We love you. Yeah, it's so interesting to think about, like, having, you know, more consistent voices on, but then having like these one-off returner. Oh, is this somebody that's going to be on more moving forward? We don't know. Yeah. Like, we have no idea who's going to be available, because we don't just sit around like with wide open schedules. Like, we can record podcasts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When can you do it? Like, we only have limited availability ourselves. And then we're reaching out to people to say, hey, can you do this time? And it's like yay or nay. And it's like, okay, if everybody's a nay, then we're just going to skip the episode.
Yeah. We've got like 4 chats open on our phones right now of talking about dates and times with people, trying to find a spot that works for everybody or a spot that works for the most people possible.
Yeah, for season 5.
Yeah.
Right? For episodes that have yet to be recorded. So
I don't even know how many chats we have for episodes that already happened.
Oh my gosh, I can't even think about it. I don't want to think about that. Thankfully, they have not been used again, so they're not one more group chat.
Yeah. But I like that we always try and get different people on. We try to get anybody who's flexible to be on, because we don't want to have the same voices over and over again. You talked about how I'm not always talking, or I'll only talk like at the beginning and sometimes at the very end of the episode. I think it's important that the voices of people who aren't around regularly are heard, because my voice can get repetitive. You can hear me say the same thing over and over again and it not mean the same thing as someone who's only been on once saying the exact same thing, but they're giving their perspective. I think their voice is more important to be heard instead of me just over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's more important, but yes, it's certainly going to be received better, right? To the person listening to the podcast, to have this different perspective or different way of saying the same idea. But yeah, man, I appreciate what you're saying. Like, it's good to have new people on. We are at the mercy of people's calendars and schedules, right? Yeah. And whether that can happen or not.
You and I have the most flexible schedules, and I think that makes it easier, because we'll just ask what the other people can do. And usually you and I can find at least one date in a list that they give us that we can do. And it will not be the same that we've ever done an episode before. Like, it'll be like Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. or something. And we're like, all right, it's late, but we can do it.
Right. Yeah, the big thing is I now have a baby, so it's a little bit like I'd ideally want to do these during the day.
Right.
While I have support on that end. Then lose evening time with my kid. But a lot of our folks work regular hour 9 to 5s, work in schools or work for other companies that they can only do an evening midweek. And it's like, there's some threshold where I can't do as many episodes like that. Speaking of which, let's talk about season 5 in terms of like maybe changes, where we're headed. Like, I think the recap, I mean, all the episodes were great. We love every single one of you. Adam Sr., Trish, Peace, Tucker, Poetic Will Toms, Keith Reed. Thank you guys for being on season 4.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great to have every single one of you. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thanks for advocating for us, right? Like coming into the podcast and being like, hey, man, I want to be a voice that validates the ministry of Ripe Creatives in people's eyes.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. But moving to season 5, I know what I just said is a part of the equation, right? Limited capacity.
Yeah.
I think 18 episodes is an amazing, wow, praise God. I don't know if we're going to have 18 episodes
Facts.
in season 5.
Yeah. Because you're talking about capacity. I think everyone, as Ripe has grown, so has all of our abilities and all of the responsibilities that so many people have picked up, and everyone's capacities. We always make time for Ripe. We just can't always make time for a podcast to talk about Ripe.
Yes.
And we definitely value the time that it takes to pull off and do an event more than just talking about it.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's funny because you think, oh, we have more stuff we're doing now than we've ever done. So therefore we have more episodes we could do. Yes. But we have less time to do them.
Yeah. The ratios getting smaller here.
Yeah, it's really flipped. Like when we started in 2019, we might only been doing 20 gigs a year, 25, 30 gigs a year, right?
Yeah.
So it's like at that point, yeah, we
talked about everything.
Well, we didn't even have a podcast back then.
Okay, but like early on, we talked about everything we could. We were just like, hey, you went and did a poem at an open mic. Let's talk about the open mic. Were you featured on it? No, that doesn't matter.
That never happened. Cap it a little bit. We probably thought about it though.
Yes.
We probably brought it up on a list of options. But yeah, I just think, it's not to say we're going to pick the best things. And so therefore, if we didn't do an episode about something that you know of or you booked us for, then it wasn't a best thing. Not at all.
No.
We're just going to pick what's lining up schedule-wise. Like, hey, we can do an episode about this. These people are available to do it. Do we want to do it? Yay or nay? Let's do it. Okay. There's going to be an episode about that. Maybe even less strategy involved than like what we did in season 4, because I think we had a little bit more strategy of like, let's get new voices on.
Yeah, we were really pushing that.
You know what I mean? Like get Poetic Will on, get Will Toms and Keith Reed on.
Get Tucker Rocky. He'd never been able to be on an episode before.
I know. He started his own podcast anyway, so shout out to you, Tucker. But, that idea of like, let's get new people, like that was our goal for season 4. Which I think we accomplished by the grace of God, and it was great.
We definitely did.
But I think in season 5, it's kind of like, okay, our goal is to like do the ones we can.
Yeah.
Do the ones we can to the best of our ability. See who we can get on and work out schedules and stuff. But like also, what is sustainable from a time, energy, resource perspective? Like what makes the most sense for this podcast to continue to move forward? And I think a big thing I'm looking at for the first time this year, like through you, because you run everything, but like the actual metrics, right? I've never cared how many people are listening, how many views the thing gets, how many shares it gets, whatever. Like I just have never looked at that for 4 years.
Yeah.
But I think what's a reality now as we get bigger as a ministry in terms of the number of artists that we support, number of gigs we're doing. Okay, stewardship is really, really important. It's always been important. Let's look at the podcast and like put it on the chopping block. And do we drop the knife or not?
Yeah.
Right? Do we continue this? Amen. Do we get rid of it? Amen. We're not getting rid of it in season 5. We're doing season 5.
We are.
Bing,
We're
bang,
here.
boom.
There was a couple weeks we weren't sure.
Yeah, we were not sure.
A lot of prayer and thought was going into that.
Yeah, so we're going to step into season 5, but I would just say this could be our last trip around the sun.
Who knows?
Like, this could be the final season of Time is Right in this iteration, in this way. Or it could not be. And we're going to leave that to somewhat up to you as the listener. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you guys are sharing this around and sending this to people, like, hey, check out this podcast. We'd love for you to connect with these people. And we can see fruit from the podcast turning into moments, opportunities, doors, resources, donors, you know, like financial partners for the ministry. Great. Like, we'll continue doing the podcast. But if we don't have those, like the fruit from it, and it feels like it's a barren tree in some regards, not producing anything for the ministry of Ripe Creatives, or in people's lives, more importantly, then yeah, we got to chop down the tree and move on. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, I think we're probably going to be focusing a little bit more, at least early in the season, on our own stuff.
Yeah. I think that's also a thing that happens in the winter. Or at least early in the year, that's when there's not a ton of events happening. So we usually end up talking about mostly our stuff, I think.
Yeah, I think except for season 4. Because season 4, we were really intentional
That's true.
to kick off the season with Kingdom, kick off the season with Open Heart Poetry, Encounter Volume 3. Like, those were 3 of the first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Were other people's things. That idea of, like, let's get new people on, because that was our goal. We moved in that direction, maybe more in season 4 than season 3 or 2. Because I think you're right. Normally in the winter, it'd be a little quieter. This has not been quiet at all, though. I mean, we've had almost 25-ish gigs from January 1 to the time of recording this episode, maybe a little bit more than that.
True.
But we still are not doing a lot of gig episodes to kick off the season. Like, we're focusing a lot on our community.
Yeah.
Any other episodes that you think are coming in 2026 that we could tease out a little bit? Like, I'm really excited about the first one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very good conversation, especially because of the voices that we currently have scheduled to do it, as long as everything pans out schedule-wise for everybody.
Yeah, we're going to do an episode about the Ripe Retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 12 hours in a church, but a ton of planning went into it, a ton of execution went into it.
A lot of conversations.
A lot of conversations in that room were massive in terms of the implications for what we're going to be doing in all of 2026 and probably forever.
Yeah.
So I was really grateful for the retreat. I'm super excited to talk about it. It's different episode than, you know, most of our other episodes that talk about, and then I performed, and I did okay, but no, you did good, you know.
This will be the second Ripe Retreat episode, technically.
I know, because we had Raffy Taffy on the other one.
The only time the man has ever showed up on the mic.
I know. Raffy Taffy, love you too. But yeah, that one I'm really excited about. We should definitely have some episodes coming out after April, I'd assume.
Oh, yeah.
At least one, hopefully.
At least one, if not making it a two-parter again.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what conversations happen in that one.
Yeah, what we're talking about there is Oracles. Christian Spoken Word Showcase. We do it once a year.
We've done it once in a year, and now we're doing it once in another year. It's not something that happens a lot, but like...
Yeah, this is our second time.
This is the second time.
But we had a great podcast conversation about it. And we
great enough that we split it into 2 episodes.
Well, that's because it was just long.
Yes.
I don't know if it was great enough. It was long enough to split into 2. But yeah, it was a really, really great event. A lot was going on that weekend. It was crazy. God moved. It was a really beautiful experience. A lot of people were impacted by it, and we're running the back. So we're doing that in April. And then I would say in December could be a very, very good episode as well. Yeah, because there's something coming.
That one's going to get us at least probably some new faces on the episode if we got everyone involved on.
Yeah, we're doing something really, really special, which we'll talk about literally on the next episode, Retreat episode, because that was a big part of the outcome from the retreat was, hey, we're definitely moving forward with this event. Here's what's been happening. Here's how you guys can support it and be involved. So. Yeah.
Not to tease future events, because we don't do that here.
We don't do that anywhere but season 5, setting the stage.
Yeah.
We can
Setting
make
the stage is fun.
Setting the stage is it's a good time to tease.
Listen, even if it doesn't happen, we've made many promises on these on setting the stage episodes 100%. That never happened.
100%. That's what we're known for. We're here to let you down. No, just
what, you thought this was like a 500 square foot stage? Nah, bro, you get like 4.
You're gonna need to stand on your tippy toes. Okay.
You wanted a stage? Pallet.
Exactly. Shout out to making it work with what we got. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good season. I mean, everybody knows this. I think they listen to this podcast. Creative's got a new home.
Yeah.
Venice Island. Hopefully one of our first episodes in season 5 will be about the creatives in February.
Definitely.
It's one of the best events for creatives we've ever thrown. And I think, knock on wood or whatever, it feels like the start of something really special.
I think it will be.
In terms of the impact of that event. So well, I could see creatives being a recurring conversation again.
Very easily.
2 Lines, same thing. They got a lot going on, a lot that they're pushing after. Could definitely see a bunch of 2 Lines episodes this year. They got an anniversary in August that I know I'm a part of, which is fun.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then, I mean, there's Extend is coming back, shout out to Extend Conference. They're booking Abel to come back and rap again.
Oh, sick.
So that's exciting. There's like a bunch of like things that we're doing Renew again this year. The Renew Conference did that with Matt McNutt. If you remember that episode from a few seasons ago with Rick.
I do remember that one.
So I'm taking the poets to Renew this year, so we could theoretically have one about that. I don't know what the episodes are going to be about, but there's a lot of things already on the docket.
There's a potential of another Write Poetry tour.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Pass the mic.
3 more episodes.
Oh, my goodness. So are we really doing this, guys? I think we probably are. We already got one of the dates pretty much locked in. So
I was surprised you didn't say one of the poetry events as one of your favorite episodes from last season.
Oracles, yeah. I mean, Oracles was definitely...
Oracles, you have a very love-hate relationship with.
I do. I want to see the poets step up and do the work to promote it better. So if you guys hear this, I love you. Let's kick it into high gear before April gets here. But yeah, I think Oracles was a great event.
It was also just a very rough day or two for you.
Yeah, I was going through a lot with sickness, baby sickness.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital the night before Oracles. Like, shout out to Spiritual Warfare. It's fun.
You got like 2 hours of sleep going into that day.
Yeah. So, but either way, those were good episodes. All of the episodes were really good, man. I love talking to Adam Sr. I love that kid.
I was going to mention that one as being really nice because you're seeing someone who's claiming inspiration from Ripe with doing his own events in his own space, in his own way. And he's looking for help, looking for guidance, and has gotten a lot of influence from Ripe and has a lot of friends in Ripe that come out and try to support him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Adam's good people.
Very.
And yeah, I mean, for us, it's like when somebody like Adam is like, hey, I want to start this thing, it's going to look a lot like some of the events you guys have produced, right? But in my own way, under a different brand. For us, I think for a lot of people, they get like, oh, it's a competition. And we are the opposite.
We're flattered.
And we celebrate it. And we're like, that gives us permission to do less. You know what I mean? Like, if more people produce amazing events and do that consistently, I'm never going to fight that. You know what I mean? Like,
I also wouldn't say it gives us permission to do less because he is about 40 minutes outside of Philly. I don't think we saw any of the same faces outside of our crew there.
That's true.
It's not for the same people.
Yeah, it's a different
geographically.
Audience. Different audience, for sure. But I just mean in the sense of when people in our region are doing creative events, it's like, amen, 2 thumbs up, praise God. Like, I think ministry is best whenever you work your way out of a job eventually.
Yeah.
Right? When you're like, man, we've been so faithful to do this thing and talk to the church about the arts so faithfully for so long. Now the church actually does the arts and everything that they do and implement the arts. So like, we don't need to exist anymore because the church is doing it, right? Like, that's the greatest outcome. And I think in a similar way, like, people producing events and like, hey, I feel, person X feels that they have a vision from the Lord to start a church event or a secular event or whatever, to go out into the world and make disciples through the arts. We're going to try to be there. We're going to try to get our people there. Like, why would we not?
Right.
Like Night of Expression at the Block
Collaboration.
Church. We've never done an episode about Night of Expression. We tried to get Derek on. But we've been on like 7 Night of Expressions in a row now.
Yeah.
With ripe artists. And that's a great thing, that if they continue to do it, they gonna get a ripe artist every time.
Yeah.
At least one. Sometimes they've had like 3 or 4 in the same night. Because that's a good thing, like, for a church to be doing that kind of stuff. This Church Done Different thing, I just was there a few weeks ago at their first show in 2026, and they're gonna do it every month. And it's like, how do we get our people to go to their thing? But is God showing up? Yes. Are people being welcomed and people getting an opportunity to get on stage to perform for those that are in the room? Yes. Are people showing up to go to the event? Yes. Like, we should connect with it.
Yeah.
So that's my heartbeat, is like, and we may never do episodes about any of those things, right? But they're happening.
Yeah, it doesn't show any less appreciation. Because I think, like you said, a lot of these events, they are answered prayers in and of themselves. Not necessarily because we have to do less, but then we don't feel a pressure to try and reach an area because there is someone reaching that area. Going back to Adam, that is an exact example of that, though, because we had talked about and been in conversations with people to do an event in that coffee shop for that area. Adam's filling that out. That's not something you have to feel on your heart anymore, because you were going back and forth on that for a while. Like, every couple months I would get a message from you talking about what that could look like, some ideas on it. And Adam's doing it now with connection in tandem, like whatever, with influence from Ripe, but it's happening. And now we don't feel a burden to try and reach that because we know it's being reached, and it's being reached effectively.
Facts. Yeah. I mean, that is a really good example of a story there. Because I think the challenge was the Levittown conversation happened while we were looking for what eventually became Bedrock.
True.
But yeah, we talked to like the people at the bridge around like us moving there permanently, and we were like, we're not leaving Philly to go to Levittown permanently.
Yeah.
And never really thought about like, but we could have done a one-off.
Yeah.
We could have done 2 shows a year, right? Like, we definitely could have done that. But God is sovereign, right? And like, it wasn't for us; it was for Adam to step up and do that. And right, that could change. Who knows where he's going to be ending up with Lamb Jam and all that stuff? But for as long as he's doing it, we want to make sure that we support him. And
that's his high point.
Yeah, I mean, that's his. It's a great space, and the town clearly wants it.
Yeah,
they're showing up. The place is packed wall to wall every time they open the doors for it. So. Yeah, there's a lot happening in the Philadelphia region that we're excited about, either that we're producing ourselves or things we're partnering on. I mean, we're producing around 20 events a year as a ministry, 2025. I would love to get that down to like 15 personally, like get us down to like, okay, these things we do extremely well. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do these things extremely well, and then be at 200 to 250 bookings a year, right? Where it's like, other people bring in folks from our community in to do stuff. I think that would be a great goal eventually. But
yeah,
in the meantime, we still have to do what God has called us to do.
Oh, shame.
And a part of that is the podcast. Keeping it going. Season 5.
We're here.
Anything else going into Season 5 that you want to say before we sign off?
I mean, being good stewards, like we want to handle the finance as well. And a lot of that is on Scott, because none of us do the bookkeeping. It's a lot of it's on Scott. And so a lot of that stress and side is on him. But I think something that happened this season that was very nice, it wasn't on the episode. It happened after the episode. The the episode for Breakaway in Maryland with Meg DeHaven and Tucker Rocky. They both got on him about actively like asking and searching for help, and we're planning stages still. I think some
stages, yeah.
Not any
October.
Specific details. Okay, some
know it's
details
gonna
have
be
been
in
chosen.
October.
Okay, yeah, but you're going after a donor dinner for once, and I think that's
Yes.
It's an idea you've talked about, but you always seem to shy away from it, and I'm glad that people who are your peers in running ministry were able to talk to you on that, because I think no one else in Ripe has the experience and the know-how, and I just think none of us have the authority to tell you like that is something to go for. And having someone like Meg and Tucker come on and tell you that what you're doing is worth it and what you're doing is worth asking for was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have been donor dinner adverse since we launched, because I thought like we should do good soils, which we've done episodes about, right? These artist night, worship night, fundraiser event in a church, try to raise money through being faithful to do an event, right?
Yeah.
That was my thinking, was like people should see what we do in real time and then they'll give to it. It's not what happens, guys.
Unfortunately, people who support don't always want to sit through that.
Yeah, right. People who have the resources to like give in a way that's going to change your organization's financial solvency don't typically want to sit through a 3-hour worship and artist night. So like, and that's okay. Like that makes sense. So yeah, Tucker and Meg, thank you, both of you. Love you to death, to life. Love you to life. Grateful for both of them, and they know a heck of a lot more about fundraising than I do. And yeah, they just were like, hey, what is your budget? And I told them what our annual budget is, and they about had their jaws hit the floor. Like, how are you doing all of this with that little of a budget? I was like, faith, God provides a lot of people and resources and access to space for a lot less than those things should be, and that's how we're able to do everything. But yeah, it's not healthy financially in that sense. And they were like, yeah, you need to do a donor dinner. Like, we've done donor dinners and raised X tens of thousands of dollars at these, and that would be really helpful if you had a day that you raised that in one day. And so yeah, we're stepping out in faith. We're trying to lock in the location and the date. We have most of the program set because our team is a bunch of artists, so the program is going to be really good.
Yeah.
Like,
that was really funny. We'll talk about it in the next episode, but it was so funny at the Ripe Retreat when you're like, hey guys, I don't tell or ask many things, but I'm just going to say now, you guys are going to perform for this.
yeah, I was like, this one is non-negotiable, okay? The donor dinner, you guys are going to sing the songs, okay? So yeah, and I Tucker kind of even said that. He was just like, man, so many people, the biggest hurdle for them to do a donor dinner is not having the programmatic stuff to make it great. He's like, you guys are the people who people would book to do donor dinners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so you should do your own. I was like, yeah, that's probably fair. So, well, yeah, that's a big one. And maybe we do an episode about it. Who knows? Come October. We do not know the date of that yet. We're still waiting to hear back from a person about a location. But we have a backup plan if that location doesn't come through. So, yeah, donor dinner. That's a big thing to be looking forward to this year for sure.
I'm excited for it. You all see in the Bible, it says those who are trusted little with little will be trusted with much. And I think that Ripe has been trusted with little, and we've stewarded what we have in those little times. And like many people have seen, we pull out a lot. I think we're all praying that Ripe gets to see the trusted with much portion, era, whatever you want to call it.
It would be good. It would be helpful for me and my family.
You always go into the Borat voice.
Is that the Borat voice? I didn't know where that came from. Just summoned that voice. Yeah, it would be helpful. Especially this being year 7.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we've been grinding, being faithful, trusting the Lord. And so many people have given. Like, I do never want to complain about what we don't have, because we have reached budget over the course of not every year. Some years we've definitely lost money. But the year before we had extra. So we still exist 7 years in. So many ministries and businesses and churches do not exist after 7 years. So for us to even still be standing is a testament to God's goodness. But
Yeah, don't take any of that as being ungrateful or ungrateful. Ungrateful. It always blows me away hearing how much people give to Ripe. Knowing that we need more resources is always like on the back of everyone's mind, but at the same time, hearing how much people are entrusting in Ripe and being like, hey, we believe in you, here's this. Even just that blows me away that we garner that much to help fund this, keep Scott's family together, keep everything running.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. We're really, really grateful for everybody who's partnered with us, churches, individuals, families. We've tried to like go get sponsors and things like that. And it's like, man, that's a unicorn that like doesn't exist.
I think it's also recognizing that with a lot of sponsors comes a lot of technicalities and a lot of rules.
Yeah, I agree. And even with grants, same kind of thing. Like we've tried to get grants, but it's like God has just stopped us from being the recipients of every single grant we've gone after.
It's because in those fine prints, like there's so many things that would limit what Ripe would be able to do. Like a lot of what's at the core of it all is just wanting people to have a way to encounter Christ, to interact with Jesus, to interact with Christians, to interact with people who are going to try and push them to God. Like Creatives is a perfect example. If we got grants and got funding and sponsors, I don't know if we'd be able to have like some of the conversations we have with people that are considered part of our team. We would have to tell people, hey, you're not part of the team, so that they could come and interact with people almost.
Yeah. It's true. I just think God is sovereign.
Yeah.
You know? And I
He's
think
protected us from what we don't need.
Yeah,
we need protecting from.
He has kept us from. I mean, dude, there's a couple things that if we would have had probably more resources, I probably would have spent those resources on things we probably shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like even just the Ripe House kind of thing. Like I'm not saying the Ripe House is dead. I'm not saying the Ripe House can't happen eventually. But yeah, I think pursuing the Ripe House, if we had had more resources to do it, would have been a misstep.
Yeah.
In light of everything else that we have going on, in light of everything that's transpired as a ministry over the last couple of years, that would have been a misstep. So I'm grateful that like we didn't have extra resource laying around to go do something crazy like a Ripe House. And maybe that's part of it, right? Like God only gives us manna for the day kind of thing. And we have to trust him to wake up the next day and he's going to provide again. So we're grateful that he has provided. I think there is we have the vision to do 10x what we're doing, right? In terms of scale. Like me talking about producing less events is about the financials.
Yeah.
It's about where our budget is now. If our budget were to double, triple, quadruple in size, we could produce a heck of a lot more events because we'd have the resources to compensate our people to do this more often. That's the challenge is like, okay, how do we, when we don't have 4x the amount of resources we've had, we have the same that we had last year or even less, right? How do we steward? What do we do less of?
Yeah.
Is it the podcast that gets scrapped? Is it one of the events we do? Like our vision is to always do more, right? Like we want to do more and more and more.
And I think that's
really
something that a lot of people have appreciated about Ripe is that we don't say, hey, we don't have the money, but we want to do more. I just need you to do more without anything. Like you're respecting people's time. You're respecting people's boundaries. You're never asking people to step beyond what you know is healthy for them.
Yeah.
We'll go beyond what's comfortable, quote unquote, for
sacrifice,
us.
Right?
But we will not go beyond what's healthy for us, which a lot of ministries, for the sake of a vision, they forget that these are people. We're as much God's creation that need to be cared for as the people we're trying to reach.
100%, man. You could not have said that better. Yeah, I think if you really want to look at the fruit of Ripe Creatives, it's not the 10 million impressions. It's not the 100,000 people we've been in front of. It's the 30, 40 people in the community.
Yeah.
And who they are as people, how they've grown in their relationships with the Lord. And it's not just because of us, it's because they're going to church. But it's because of who their pastors are and their shepherds and their elders and how God's been speaking to them in their devotional life. Yes, 100%. We are not taking credit for any of that. But do I think Ripe has been a healthy plumb line? Yes. Like, I think we've been walking alongside of people and pointing them in the direction of their pastors and elders in churches and in the direction of, go to Bible study over there, right? Are you going to that worship night? Like, we want to be a thing that really cares for people in our community and helps them along in their journey so that they can be the most faithful, evangelistic, missionary artists in the world. That's our hope. Like, the people in our crew, when they go out to do ministry, when they go out to perform places, when they go out to be on the road, that they are not going to get caught up in insert Christian celebrity X, Y, or Z scandal.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that's so heartbreaking for us is as artists and creatives is like these people get these platforms, they grow, but there's no infrastructure, there's no accountability, there's nobody caring for the soul of these artists. And then they get out there and they get eaten alive and they get caught up in sin and then they hide it because they're public Christians and secret sin. And then everything kind of falls apart. And next thing you know, they're deconstructionists and leading people astray, right? And it's like that cycle is because of the industry model. And we're trying to be a direct juxtaposition to that kind of mindset. So, yeah, thank you for saying that, though, because that's the heartbeat of this thing is like, let's not step ahead of the Lord, Let's not step behind either. Let's stay in step with God.
Yeah.
And we're going to misstep at times, and we come to him and ask for forgiveness and repent of ways that we misstep for sure. But be in accordance with what he would want, in a flourishing ministry. So, yeah. God knows.
Amen.
I'm looking forward to the rest of season 5, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for all you do, sir.
Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Letting you be a part of it is crazy. This would not happen without Jarrett. This would have been a phone call that was an idea 4 years ago. I've been like, hey, Jarrett, if you were not Jarrett, this would not have happened. If I was calling any other person, this never would have came to pass. So I appreciate all your help and really spearheading a lot of this. Like, Creatives Philly being where it is because you have not given up the ship. Whatever that captain person was, don't give up the ship. Never, ever give up the ship.
Master and commander or whatever.
I don't know. It was like some...
captain goes down with his ship. I think that's what he's going for here.
But you have stood on the front lines of creatives and been like, no, this is too valuable. Okay, maybe we do need to combine the features with the open mic. Maybe we do need to go 6 times instead of 12. Maybe we do need to go to a smaller venue, right? You've been there for those decisions, but you've been like, whatever you do, you can't kill it.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to kill it. This is my way in, this is my part of the community. This is my reasonable service to Ripe. Don't kill this thing. I think the podcast has been the same way, man.
Yeah.
You've been kind of spurring this on. When we have a dry spell for a little bit, you're like, hey, when are we shooting the next episode?
Yeah. I'll send you those messages. Be like, hey, because I'm not always tapped in on what's going on. I'll be like, hey, anything happened that you guys need to talk about or want to talk about? Is there anything you guys need or want to share?
Yep. So we're doing it one more time, guys.
We're trying it again.
Last trip around the sun, maybe. It's on you guys. Share this podcast out. Honestly, I will tell you this. We've never asked for this. Do the ratings. Give us a 5-star rating. Write a review.
Like it, follow it.
That's really
subscribe,
helpful.
Whatever it is.
Let's push this thing up the algorithm. We've been doing this 70+ episodes already. You know who we are. You know what we're about. If you think this is valuable, help us get the word out because it's on you guys. If you want this to continue, it'll be because you guys made it continue. Is that fair? I think that's fair.
I think that's very fair.
Yeah, it's on you. The ball's in your court, audience.
Yeah.
We love you. Until that time, until next time, from Jarrett and I both, stay right.
Ayo, freedom calling, pick it up. Why you stalling?
You can learn more about Ripe Creatives and support our ministry by visiting our website, ripecreatives.com. To never miss a future episode, you can join our community text line by texting Time is Ripe to 215-273-3540. Time is Ripe is produced, recorded, edited, and released by Top Mott Productions. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
I know you've been searching, pick it up. I know you've been searching.